There we go. It turns blue.
Turns
not
blue,
green.
not green. Yeah. Now we gotta wait. Now we're live.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
Pop out.
Oh, pop out first. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all of it
Trying to walk
set
Wanda through
up.
here.
It ain't like we've done this for...
She's gonna get this one of these days. Okay.
Well, where is it? There we
it
go.
is now.
Okay.
Drag it over. There you go.
We're getting there. Okay.
All right.
I see somebody's from snowy Iowa.
Well, there's a lot of places it's snowy from a lot of places. I'm gonna tell you what.
Oh, good evening, everybody.
Well, happy birthday, Gwen. She's 66 years old today.
Wow. Happy
All
birthday.
Right. Mr. Buddy. Good to see you, Mr. Buddy.
Popping in.
Yeah.
I have one of the grandkids' birthdays in March.
I don't even think about grandkids' birthdays.
I think Grace's birthday's in March.
There's too many of them to even think about whose birthday was when. So
I used to could remember all of them till we had so many. Oh, let's see. We're pretty give out tonight, so I said, y'all better be bringing the questions.
Yeah, y'all got to bring on some questions tonight, because I'm going to tell you what, we have been busting it all
We can answer questions, but we got to think off the top of our head, boy. We're going to be hurting.
Man, we have been busting it. I ain't going to joke with you. Oh,
there's
IG Farms. That's from Mississippi.
Yeah, I've been checking them out. You guys have got it going on. They have.
Where can I get those big black containers you plant in? They're mineral tubs. Talk to a cattle farmer somewhere. You can usually get them pretty cheap from cattle farmers.
Yeah, IG is debt free. They bought their land and they bought a trailer and they're getting it set up.
That's the way you start.
And you know, they've got it going on. I've been checking them out here lately. Saw a video on soaking seeds. Would you do that with corn? Would you?
No, I don't soak any of my seeds. Except I used to soak my okra seeds a little bit, but I don't even do that anymore. I have really not seen any benefit from soaking seeds, to be honest with you.
Somebody says, "What do you think of Minnesota?"
What do I think of Minnesota?
Do you even think about Minnesota?
Well, Mark's from up Minnesota. I think that y'all are going to have a cold existence for many, many, many years to come.
How's our weather in Mississippi? It has been hot.
It has been hot. Oh my gosh, has it been hot.
All week it's been hot till this morning. And then it was cool this morning.
Well,
after lunch, it had kind of warmed up some.
We started off in the 50s.
Cool for us was like 60-something.
No, we started off 57 this morning.
It was 57.
Was and then the sun came out and it got warmed up to about 75. And then it clouded back up and the breeze started blowing. And it was actually really nice. I worked all day today. I mean, very pleasant weather.
Yeah, somebody asked what was my favorite thing to can. Anything that looks good in a jar. I like color. I like it to look good. Carrots and things like that are real bright and pretty.
Nancy wants to know, where do you get the EMP devices for home and vehicles? We have a link in the description below for EMP Shield. You can go check out that link. You'll get a $50 discount when you purchase one of them. If you use that link, we made a deal with the company and should save you a little bit of money. We actively have it on everything we own. I mean, it's taken.
Put one on a house recently.
Yeah, for an elderly gentleman. I put one on a house for an elderly gentleman, and thank you for the person who actually purchased that for that elderly gentleman for me to put on the house. I want to say thank you.
Do you soak your turmeric root before planting it? No.
Nope. We don't soak anything.
Here in the deep south, we don't do a whole lot of soaking.
No.
And I direct sowed this week out in the garden over at Pecan Grove a lot of seeds. Now I may mess up, and it may not anything come up, and I'm 3 weeks ahead of our last frost date, aren't I?
Well, I checked the corn over at Pecan Grove, and it should be popping through in the next couple of days. I checked the Cherokee yellow wax beans a while ago in the garden up here. They're starting to just open the seeds up and start to sprout, and the soil's real cold, so
It needs to warm up a
it
little
needs to
more.
warm up some more. But I don't see that happening in the next couple of weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we have a cool spell coming through, but our coolest time is in the 38.
We're
maybe?
gonna get down to about 38 or 39, which doesn't hurt the garden. I mean,
No.
it's not gonna hurt anything, but because it's not a frost or anything like that. Now we may have more wind chill than that, but
Somebody says, how old is Danny? Older than dirt.
I am.
62.
Let me put. It was funny you say that. I have to tell a story. My daddy worked for a lady when he was a teenager, and her husband. Well, when my daddy was in his 70s, he was still working for this lady, mowing her yard. And one day he asked her, he said, "Ma'am," her husband had passed away like 20 years ago.
Before that. Yeah.
Before then. And he said, "Ma'am," he said, "I know this isn't a polite thing to do." He said, "But just how old are you?" And she said, "Well, let's just put it this way. I'm over 97 and I'm less than 108. And he said, and look, she still went out and jogged.
When you and I married, she was still driving.
Yeah, she was still driving when
Danny
we married.
says, I don't know how old this lady is, but everybody gets off the streets and just lets her
Well,
drive.
I mean, she has bridge parties at her house and stuff, and every time she had these big parties, I'd have to go mow her yard. Me and my brother would go mow her
Yeah, that was
yard. Once
before
my
we
dad
married.
got too old, we'd run mow her yard, trim her hedges, everything. And she said, "I got a bridge party coming this weekend." She says, "So I want to make sure everything looks good when everybody comes." And I think she's since passed away because I've seen the place had, some things had been changed at the place. But I am I'm only 62 years old. It's not the age with me, it's the miles.
Yeah.
I have been rode hard and put up wet, as the old expression goes. I lived my whole life on the edge.
And he's broken almost every bone.
I have been broken all to pieces. I'm one of those who, when they needed someone to go do a particular job, I would go do it because they knew that the person might not make it or they might get hurt bad. And I would always go do it. And I would usually end up, never got killed because I'm still here, but
That's obvious.
I did get broke up many times, but I always came out on the other side.
Cul-de-sac says, Wanda, he's not older than Saul. Yeah, we had some people kind of get on to us a little bit about the dirt and the soil thing, and here we usually call it dirt. I mean, I'm sorry, we call it dirt. If you go and buy a potting soil, that's what we think of as soil, as something that's been...
It's in a bag.
It's in a bag. It's already been sterilized, and then they add everything else back to it, kind of like your milk. I mean, you can go out to the cow and get milk, or you can go to the store and get it, and it's been processed. It's been sterilized, and then everything added back to it. Why not just get it natural? I mean, it's dirt.
I'm sure there's some questions that went by. Wanda had the chat froze.
Yeah,
I just
y'all
realized
just have to redo.
But anyway, that's a little bit of story about how old I am. I've lived a very hard life.
And still working 90 to nothing.
I still work 12, 14 hours a day.
We are steadily trying to get ready for the cows to make their big move, and they're going to, well, not all of them, but most of them are going to Pecan Grove, and we just got a lot to do. And we're trying to beat the heat. Yeah, it's been hot, but 80 something ain't hot compared to 100.
Right.
And in the summer, we don't like to do a whole lot. A lot of people say, what do you do in the winter for, and
We
I mean,
work
we
all
work all
we
winter.
work all winter because the summers are just so hot.
And we come in the summer, and lots of times we stay in, and that's when we do anything. If there's any canning, we do it, or either we work on videos or whatever. I mean, whatever we can do inside, that's what we do in the summer. So up until it gets in the 90s and 100, we'll be outside.
Are the onions ready to ring? Ours are about
on the heel.
On the heel are about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter. They're starting to actually pop now. The ones at Pecan Grove they're not starting to. They're not bulbing yet.
No, they've only been in the ground
less than a month.
But they're green and they're pretty. They're looking like pretty green onions right now. Did you get your planter figured out?
Yes, we got our planter figured out. We used it at Pecan Grove. It planted.
We put up a video, but you also asked them about those pieces, is what they're asking.
Did we put the one up on Patreon?
The one with Danny Corn is on Deep South.
Okay.
And it was on Patreon too, but it was on Deep South, showing the corn and the planter.
I don't remember that video.
It was last week.
Are you sure?
Y'all, did y'all see the corn being planted? Just answer me.
Did y'all see me planting corn with the planter?
He's been so busy, he can't keep up with anything.
I've been busy as I'll get out. I haven't had much time to get on the internet.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, if y'all asked us what's going on in the world, Danny flips through, glances at headlines, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't checked anything out.
Sandra says, how long does it take potatoes to pop up out of the dirt? Well, it depends on the temperature of the soil and
see, you called it soil.
Well, the temperature of the dirt, whatever you want to say. It can take a couple of weeks. I'll be honest with you.
They saw the corn.
Okay.
You just
some people said I haven't seen it.
It's about a week or so.
No, they're saying no. I told you.
Yes.
I only see one yes. You better check that because everybody's saying no. I ain't seen it. I haven't seen that video.
I swear, I'm pretty sure it was called It's a Lot of Work.
That's preparing the garden. That ain't.
You planted the.
Did I plant it too?
Wait, let me look. Maybe I hadn't even put it up. Y'all forgive me. I'm going to go look at my own videos.
No, what we showed was me planting the snap beans using my little tube thing.
Yeah, that we did.
I planted yellow wax beans.
Yeah.
Did not.
The cornfield.
Did he
plant that?
I showed getting it ready to plant.
You mean I hadn't done that video?
I don't think so.
Okay, if y'all didn't see him planting the corn on Deep South, I guess I'll have to show him planting corn with the cub.
Everybody's saying you planted corn with a PVC rig. I did not plant corn with a PVC rig. I planted snap beans with a PVC rig.
So, okay, y'all.
Everybody keeps saying no.
Okay, so we're really far behind.
We're way behind.
Okay, I said I don't have any videos from
You said you didn't have a video for Monday. Yes, you do have a video for Monday.
I've got to go see if I can make a video. I thought I put up the corn video. I could have swore I made it, y'all. If I didn't, I forgot.
No.
I think I made it. It just hadn't got uploaded.
Everybody's saying I used a PVC pipe. No, I did. I used a PVC pipe to plant snap beans, not corn.
Yeah, it was Cherokee yellow wax beans.
Yeah, the Cherokee. As a matter of fact, Wanda planted half of them.
Yeah.
I planted half and she planted half.
Well, I wasn't in the video. They didn't see me because there wasn't nobody. We don't have a camera crew, y'all.
Right. Remember on the tractor, I didn't have the attachment that I needed. And
That's what it was.
And I had to custom build, and I asked people about it, remember?
Yes.
And the guy sent us a whole bunch of pictures that I haven't had a chance to go through all of them.
Yeah.
I did see some of them. I don't remember who it was, but there's a piece that hooks.
Did I put the corn on Patreon, y'all? Maybe some of them saw it on Patreon. Y'all, we're just brain fried.
Do you wait to water taters till they come up? Yes, do not water your potatoes until they come up, because if you do, they might rot.
We have some beautiful potatoes.
Oh, we got potatoes that's out of this world. Beautiful. I mean, it is amazing.
Come on. All right, let me look because I'm...
Person here says, I have trouble growing lavender in pots. What type of medium should I use? Lavender is kind of difficult to grow anyway.
Okay. I haven't even showed it over here.
I didn't think you had.
Y'all, never mind. Y'all have not seen us planting corn.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Well, you said last week I had a lot to get done and I was behind on videos and I thought I was
Oh, no.
Now I hope I have not deleted any clips.
No, see, Charles Stansbury says, no, not yet on Patreon. I just tilled the cornfield over on Patreon. That's all I did was tilled it and got it ready.
Carlos says, Doug, Danny and Wanda, and I came from the Texas boys. What the heck? I don't know. What the heck is that supposed to mean?
What?
Carlos, he said, Doug, Danny and Wanda, and I came from the Texas boys. What the heck?
I don't watch the Texas boys. I don't even know. I don't even know who they are.
I remember them from years ago.
I haven't.
Remember it started out 3 boys started the channel and their dad took over.
Baby, you know how many years ago that's been?
5 or 6.
That's too far back.
Yeah.
My life is too busy to think backwards. I'm only looking to the future. I don't think backwards.
All right, so IAG says, can you say that again, Danny, about the potatoes we just planted today? So you said don't water them.
No. IAG, do not water your potatoes until you see them coming up out of the ground.
Because you'll rot the seed potato.
Yeah, the chit will rot. No, I didn't say that. Now,
I just had to look at you.
I said the chit, C-H-I-T.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's see. Somebody said, Wanda, can I plant the onion seeds you sent me now? I am in zone 10. Yes. Those were, I can't remember if they were multiplying or just bulbing.
If they were bunching onions, yes. If they were bulbing onions, no. Do not plant them until September.
Have you had any luck planting potatoes in buckets? We
Yes,
just
sir.
plant in the ground.
I don't plant potatoes in buckets.
I planted in the...
you plant the green stalk.
In the green stalk, I raised the little fingerlings.
The fingerlings, but not the big potatoes.
Not big potatoes. And then in our greenhouse, we planted potatoes, and that freeze kind of killed most of mine. I did harvest enough last week to have a really good meal, and they were delicious. I put onions and baked them, and they were so good. Now, Danny still got a few in his.
Yeah.
We'll probably dig those in the next week or so. But I've not done containers with potatoes.
Yeah, let the chat roll.
Okay.
I don't like to be behind.
I know. All right. Do you know what's going on with the banks, or can you? I don't know what they're...
Oh, you talking about out in California?
One of them obviously tanked.
Well, it's
or something. I saw the headline.
It's only the beginning. Let me put it that way.
How long does it take for sweet potatoes to start making slips?
That depends on how long it takes your soil to get to 70 degrees. Some of mine have been planted now for almost a month, and they're just now starting to break through the soil. So it can take a month or longer, to be able to get up there.
Twisted Ponies, do you think there will be a federal bailout of the SVB Bank? I don't know. Thank you, Twisted Ponies.
Thank you, Twisted Pony, for that. But to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure at this moment, because the system we have is so corrupt and so crooked until nothing would surprise me, to be honest with you. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't really see, short of printing more money and putting us deeper in debt, how it's possible. Because insurance companies are fixing to start collapsing. And when insurance companies start collapsing, you're going to start seeing tons of problems everywhere. Banks is usually your first sign that we have problems. And then after banks usually come insurance companies. So I already know the insurance companies are going to start collapsing. So I pretty much figure banks are going to too.
Some Mark says that our corn video was on Facebook. I don't think so because I don't do Facebook.
We don't do Facebook, so
I
unless
hardly
somebody
ever put anything on Facebook. Somebody else could be putting stuff there, but I don't. The difference between a whole house electrical surge protector and an EMP shield.
A whole house surge protector is something that you call the power company, and they mount in your meter base out here. I called them, and I have one mounted in my meter base out here. It takes care of like when limbs get caught up in power lines or something like that, and you get surges through the line, or for the power all of a sudden goes off and comes back on, goes off and comes back on. It creates surges through the system, and that's what it protects you against. EMP shield is not designed to protect that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's mainly lightning and EMP.
Fertilizer for grapes. Now it depends on Nan Farm. It depends on whether your grapes. Ours are planted in containers, and in the containers I use a time release fertilizer because I don't want to put too high of a nitrogen in there and then end up with all vines and no grapes. I like to get a good bit of phosphorus in there with them. So I use a time release that's like 14, 14, 14 or something like that, that's slow release over time. That's the way I do it.
Renata, the elder midwife, is getting her greenhouse Monday.
All right. I see that
She's going to be hunting somebody to be putting that thing up, aren't you?
Well, you know Renata, she'll probably get out there and do it herself.
Andy, sit down.
And she'll be saying, "Now, Andy, you just leave me alone." I can see her right now. I can see her. I can see her saying that just as well as I can see this microphone sitting in front of me.
She's gonna tell him, "Get out of my way." Yep. All right. Do you have your high towers running east to west or north to south? Pros and cons.
Scan girl, our high tunnels are running northeast to southwest. That's maximum sun exposure. Plus, we live in a hurricane zone, and that kind of helps protect them from the worst of the hurricane winds, because when the winds come in at those angles, it's more of a glancing blow than it is a direct side blow.
I saw somebody, I done lost it. What variety of blackberries do you grow?
We got the Freedom blackberries, we have Arapaho blackberries, and we have Arapaho blackberries. And we have the Arkansas Traveler.
Yeah.
We have that's the varieties that we have.
All right. KTLV. Do you have any suggestions for growing carrots? I've tried the last 2 years, but inky, I don't know what that means, but inky, only the tops grow, and the carrot part stays really skinny.
This is what you need right here.
Wait, come down. Down.
Right here. I have a manual that I have wrote about planting carrots. We have very high success rate here at Deep South Homestead. When you look in it, it has actually has pictures. Let me find where I'm at here. We have pictures in the carrot manual.
And it's our pictures. We didn't get stock pictures.
We didn't go on the internet and
wait, right here.
Right there. We show all of our different ways of growing carrots. I have everything in here about growing carrots. You can find this at our Etsy store at deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com.
We also have an English pea one and a sweet potato. If you want to know how to do slips in dirt.
You know how to do slips the right way, the way God grew them. You got to do it like here. Sweet potato manual. Right here.
Okay.
Everything about growing them. I mean, all the processes.
Ask Miss Lippy. She had sweet potato slips that were beautiful yesterday. Yeah. She grew them in some dirt, I think. She better have.
Better have.
I'm going to be chopping her hands off. She ain't growing no more.
I'm telling you guys, we've sold these by the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, these manuals, and all we get back is positive responses from it.
All right, fire ants, what do you do?
Fire ants, I job a pipe down in the middle of the bed about as deep as I can get it in there, and then I pour a cup of gasoline in there, and I stomp the whole cover back over, and it usually kills the whole mound.
Have you ever heard of putting seaweed in a row before planting potatoes?
Yes, I have. I've heard of putting seaweed in on lots of different plants, not just potatoes, but lots of different plants. And seaweed is a very nutritious plant or product to be putting in your garden. I think it's great if you have access to it. We don't have access to it here, even though I live close to the Gulf Coast. It's just not something that we have available to us.
All right, prep for eternity. In your opinion, what grows best in your greenhouse?
In my greenhouse, what grows best was cucumbers, rutabagas, yellow wax beans, my seedless grapes.
Yeah, we've got seedless grapes all over. I'm talking little bitty grapes hanging everywhere.
Our freedom blackberries.
Yeah.
They took over.
In my high tunnel, the Cherokee tan pumpkins did awesome.
They done really well.
I've got tomatoes right now. We've been eating tomatoes out of Danny's high tunnel, and now we're eating out of my high tunnel.
Yep.
I did Trail of Tears beans, and they did amazing.
I mean,
We've
Donnie,
done a variety of stuff.
most everything has done really well in our high tunnels. I mean, I can't say that.
Not everything, but I can't do radishes. Lippy had a handful of radishes
Yeah.
while ago and sent me a picture, and she was just rubbing it in. She's going to come show me how to do radishes or something. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
54 Cal says, any luck finding the corn planter parts? Nope, but what I did do was I manufactured my own. Because that's what you do when you live in the country. I started scavenging around. I looked at pictures online as what they look like. I went to the shop and I broke out the tools and I started bending and drilling and cutting, and I actually manufactured the parts that I needed to fix the planter. Now the only thing I don't have is there is a piece that goes on the seed tube that hooks to the bottom of a Richmond planter that goes from square to round. I don't have that. It's got a wing nut and a carriage bolt on it. I don't have that, and I have failed to find it, so I'm going to end up probably manufacturing that.
How long before frost do you plant sweet potatoes for slips?
Oh, wow. Probably a month and a half. A month and a half before the last frost. I plant mine in the high tunnels, in the greenhouses.
Barbara said she just planted her sweet potatoes to get her slips or her shoots. Should I not water the sweet potatoes too?
No, do not water your sweet potatoes.
Until...
Well, you can dampen the soil just a little bit, but do not soak it or wet it until you start seeing the leaves popping through. And once you start seeing the leaves, then I go ahead and put the water to mine.
But you don't overwater.
Don't water. I don't overwater
Just make sure they're damp every day. Jan says, that's the way to do it, Danny.
Yep. I mean, you just got to be who was the old man? Who's the guy that used to come on TV that made everything?
MacGyver.
MacGyver.
I used to call Danny MacGyver all the time.
Oh, yeah, she did, really. Because I build whatever I don't need. With all the equipment I have, I build everything.
Kathy says, French breakfast radishes are easy. I know, radishes should be easy. That should be the easiest thing, but I fail every time. I put 2 different types in my high tunnel. One of them died after a few days after they came up. They were looking really pretty, and they just died. The others grew up to be they were ready to, it looked like they should have big radishes and ready to harvest, and they just died. So I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe too much water, I don't know.
Susan says, Danny, what do you think about the banks is collapsing? Do you think there will be a run on the banks? Not yet, I don't. Literally, watch Europe. When you see the banks in Europe start failing, the American banks won't be very far behind it. I watch the banks in Europe because right now, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, we're a global system. And I hate to say this, but America's banks are not ran by America. Okay, y'all, you got to understand, America is ran by corporations. And literally, corporations control everything from when I say everything, I mean literally everything from finances to food to the gas you put in your vehicles. I mean, corporations control it all.
How do you know when cabbage is finished growing? That's
when the heads, which one's that?
Shante.
Shante. when the heads are about the size that you want them to be, really. I mean, I've grown lettuce heads anywhere from 3 pounds up to 10 and 11 pounds. The main thing you have to watch for is if you see the top of that head starting to split a little bit, then you know it's fixing to bolt, and that usually don't happen until it starts getting warm weather. So the more fertilizer you put to it, the bigger it'll get. So it can be anything from the size of a softball to the size of a basketball.
How can you save your sweet potato slips if planted them too early?
Plant them in some containers and just let them start vining. Don't worry about it. Just keep them from the cold. And when it comes time to plant them, just start chopping them up in pieces, and you can stick them in the soil, and they'll just re-root.
You'll just have a lot more.
You'll have a lot more slips, yeah.
Chop them
or either just lay them around in the tub, or lay them on the ground, or whatever.
Or chop them off and stick them back in the dirt.
Well, if you just lay them around in it, they'll just start rooting, and then when it comes time, you can just start cutting them in pieces.
Yeah. Have you grown Mastro or Green Arrow peas?
Green Arrow peas, no, we stick pretty much with the little marvels because that one is the best one for our climate and our, just the variety. That's the best variety we found is little marvel.
All right, Corey wants to know, can I be self-sufficient on 15 acres, or do I need to get more?
It's very difficult. Well, first of all, let me say this. It depends on what you're growing and what you're doing.
Vegetables, yes.
Vegetables, yes. It takes 9,000 square feet per person of the family to be self-sufficient on vegetables. But now if you're trying to raise cows and pigs and chickens and goats and ducks and sheep and all this kind of stuff, that's not going to be enough land.
Because you're not going to be able to raise the food you need for the animals. That's what Danny and I have, 10 acres.
Right.
The one reason we bought 40 more was because we have cows, chickens, turkeys, and we did have pigs.
We did have pigs, yeah.
On 10 acres. And we weren't raising any of their food, hardly. I mean, they got scraps, and they got sugar cane cuttings, and they got pieces of pea vines and all this stuff. But it wasn't enough to keep our animals all year long. And Danny wanted corn and hay.
Yeah. Short Bus 68, thank you. What is your knowledge of electro gardening with copper? Is this detrimental for ground? No, it is not detrimental for ground. You can take, we take concrete reinforcement wire and make our tomato cages out of it. Every 11 squares, we count 11 squares, we cut it, fold it back around, and make a round cage out of it, tie them together, and then I clip all the bottom pieces on it where it's got little long wires, and I job them down in the ground, and that grounds it just as well. Now, if you want to, you can run a copper wire from cage to cage to cage through your tomato garden, and it will help. I'm not going to lie about that. Or you can use pantyhose, will do the same exact thing. But electroculture actually really boosts your growth of your plants tremendously.
So Debbie said, please tell my sister Brenda Parker hello. She's a newbie.
Hello, Brenda.
Why do my cucumbers look like they are avoiding my grow lights? They have 3 leaves.
Maybe your grow lights don't have enough lumens to them, because for a successful grow light to be a successful grow light, it has to have 6,000 lumens or more, and it has to be within a foot or less of the plant the whole time that it's growing in order for it to be 100% efficient. Now, it can be up to 30 or 40 inches from it if it's a higher lumen, but the lower the lumens, the closer the light has to be.
All right, what about carrots? How do you know when you should pull them? That's Shantae.
Shantae, usually I run my finger around the top of the carrot, and if it's like an inch or an inch and a half in diameter, I just go ahead and pull it. Or if I start pulling carrots and I notice they got little tiny white hair roots on them, I know they've been in the garden too long and they need to come out, because they're going to start getting bitter when they taste like that. I mean, when they have the little hair roots on them.
Why do y'all not plant in the ground in your high tunnels?
we do plant in the ground in Wanda's high tunnel, and we do plant in the ground on mine. We have raised beds on each side, which is in the ground.
Yeah, because we just built around the ground.
We just put raised beds on the corners, on the sides, because it was more economical for us to do that. And then down the middles of Wanda, we have 2 raised beds down the middle of hers we plant in the ground. Now, we don't actually till the soil like, we have row cover or ground cover on the ground in between our raised beds, just simply because that's the older we get, it's easier for us to sit down on the edge of a raised bed and do it in our high tunnels. Now, if I had one that was like 30 or 40 feet wide, I would plant in the ground probably. But these are not wide enough to get a tractor in to till the soil or to get a tiller in.
What variety of tomatoes do you grow, and which grow the best in a moderate climate?
There is a ton of tomatoes that grow really well. Now, for us, we grow the Amish paste.
That's probably our number one.
That's our number one.
The celebrity.
The celebrity would be our number 2 tomato. But we have grown literally all of them. Now, my
blue tomatoes.
If you want a tomato that's prolific and you can't stop it from growing, that's the blue cherry tomato. That's in the Indigo series.
If a seed falls in the dirt, it's coming up.
It's coming back up.
Just tell you. We haven't planted them in a couple of years.
But you can't pick them until they're completely ripe or they won't taste good.
Yeah.
But now, my favorite, as far as taste, is the Cherokee Purple. That's my favorite tasting tomato.
Yeah, it has a really good taste. Do you like the indeterminate or interdeterminate or determinate? Whatever.
It depends on what you're wanting. If you're wanting to do a lot of canning at one time, the determinate tomatoes would be your best, like a Rutgers or some of your celebrities. Depending on, just check to see which one is a determinate, because they're all going to get ready within a 1 or 2 week period, and it's over for them. But now, if you like to just eat tomatoes all summer long, then stick with an indeterminate variety, because they'll produce all summer.
Are we going to do a high tunnel at Pecan Grove? Maybe in the fall.
Yeah, it might be sometime in the future. Not right now, because, guys, I'm worked to death trying to get ready.
Well, we don't need a high tunnel over there. We're trying the ground right now to see how the soil's
I'm just trying to get fencing for cattle.
Yeah, he's all about the cows.
I'm all about the cows, because the grass over there is amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's just amazing. I mean,
Let's see.
Hello, Cindy.
What variety of sweet green bell grows thick and hardy like loved for stuffed pepper?
Lobed.
Oh, lobed, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be lobed. We grow the California Wonders and the Parks Whopper. That's the 2 varieties we found in our climate that really does the best.
Parks was
you can get a Parks Whopper tomato, or you can get a Parks Whopper
bell pepper. I knew I'd heard
a
tomato.
Yeah.
I didn't remember the other. First time I've been able to have zucchini without the squash bugs killing my plants. I planted zucchini. I planted the, what was that, cocazelle?
Yeah, the cocazelle, yeah.
And I planted a little round one from So Right Seeds. And So Right Seeds sent me a link for you guys to use to order seeds, and I hadn't got it in the thing.
Marion used our advice on using the Dr. Earth's high phosphate. There's something about using that around your squashes and stuff, pumpkins and things like that. Those squash bugs, if you use it like every week, now it stinks to high heaven, don't get me wrong. For some reason, the squash bugs do not mess with ours as long as we're using that stuff.
We do not eat mushrooms.
Nope, we don't eat mushrooms.
And we don't know about selling pecans because we don't know if any of the trees make. Obviously, something makes there because there's pecan trees.
There's too many pecan trees for some of them not to make pecans somewhere.
We just don't know which ones. I mean, we're flying blind with the pecan trees right now.
We bought it in the wintertime, so we know nothing about them.
They don't even have leaves on them yet, do they?
Some are starting to put on little small leaves.
Okay. Most of them look like switches right now.
Yeah.
There's just bare trees.
The best sweet corn, a blessed and blooming homestead said, best sweet corn to save the seed from. There's a couple of them. We use the Stoil Evergreen, which is an heirloom, or you can buy one called the Bantam. Both of them, the Stoil Evergreen we use is a white sweet corn. If you want to do the Golden Bantam or one of them like that, they are really, really good. But we save our own sweet corn seed, to be honest with you, because I do not like buying these super hybrids and all that kind of stuff because it just bothers me that they've done something to it.
Okay.
Do we have a problem with potato bugs, Rhonda says? No, we have.
Well, we don't know at Pecan Grove
No,
yet.
Pecan Grove we don't know, but here at Deep South Homestead we have not had a problem with potato bugs. What security will you have for your animals in Pecan Grove? It's called a 9mm.
Well, I think they're thinking when you're not there, for the most part. We'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. I mean,
so far we don't think there's any like coyotes or anything.
We haven't heard any coyotes. Of course, we haven't been over there late at night either.
I've been over there at night.
I've been there till about 8 o'clock, but not beyond.
Late.
Not beyond 8 o'clock. Yeah.
So we don't know at night, but so far we've not seen tracks of anything like that.
I haven't seen any kind of coyote tracks or nothing like that. We put the bone sauce out this week, and the deer have gone away so far.
Somebody is
Deborah,
asking about my skin. Do I do anything? No, I have never used all the chemicals that most people do. In high school, I did not use makeup. I started late, maybe senior year, a little makeup. Throughout the years, I've seldom ever put on makeup. I haven't put on makeup in more than 10 years. And before that, it would be once in every several months.
Deborah Haynes says, what about Hickory King corn? Now, we grew Hickory King corn. Now, that's not a sweet corn. That's a field corn.
Yeah, we did that.
We grew it here, and we ground it into cornmeal. And to be honest with you, it has no taste. It is so bland. We are used to my Danny corn for making grits and cornmeal and stuff like that, till the Hickory King
had no taste.
It has no taste to it whatsoever.
That's the blandest taste in grits I've ever had, but we were using it up because we made it.
Yeah, we made it. We're going to go ahead and use it. What are the rabbits doing? The rabbits are making fertilizer for our gardens. That's what they're doing. They're pooping up a storm.
What organic products could you to get rid of invasive weeds in a lawn near a garden? Is there any organic?
I don't know of any organic substance out there other than you can buy agricultural vinegar, which is 25% acid. You have to be very careful with it. You can get that, which is about the only thing that I know of. Nancy says, Danny, does the EMP protector guard against multiple pulses or just against the initial pulse? My understanding is all the data that I looked at inside the company, when I was talking with the owners of the company, they said that that the EMP shields, the data they showed me, they had been hit multiple times and they still functioned. It did not destroy them. But now they did show me one that had been struck by lightning. They said lightning will destroy one of them, but it will protect. And there's a $25,000 standalone policy with the lightning protection part of it.
All right, asparagus is tall and skinny. Why no regular spears? First year it's happening.
Probably a lack of nutrition. When asparagus gets to be tall and skinny and the shoots don't get very big in diameter, it's usually suffering in something like nitrogen, or you just need a really good heavy base fertilizer put to it. And the problem is, we've even guilty of this, trying to use organic fertilizers, and it just don't work. You know, I mean, asparagus has got to have heavy compost, high nitrogen, and it's got to really kick it. I mean,
we're going to be moving most of our asparagus over to Pecan Grove because that soil is so rich. And so we really like that. But somebody was asking about blueberries. We have more blueberries. We know what to do with.
We got more and we know what to do with.
Here we have a Lapaha.
We got a Lapaha and Premier. and a couple of
Two or tee different types.
Off varieties where some had died, and we just went to Walmart and got some more and stuck in the ground.
And then over at Pecan Grove, we don't even
know what they are.
What they are. We know they're rabbit eyes.
Well, we know they're big trees.
And they're supposed to produce, and they're just loaded. So we're gonna have more blueberries than we know what to do with.
I don't know what we're gonna do with all these blueberries. I mean, do you prune your fruit trees? Yes, I prune my Lena Gilman. I do prune my fruit trees. Do it in the dead of winter before they start putting on any leaves. Now things like peaches and apricots and stuff like that, I prune them closer to the time that they're going to put leaves on because they'll heal faster. They don't sit there all winter with a bare spot.
How do we store large quantities of corn for our cattle? We don't most of the time unless he raises his Danny corn, and we have a corn crib that he built. There's a video back in several years ago. He built a corn crib. We store Danny corn in that, but we have not raised that in maybe the last 2 years, 3 years.
Well, last year our Danny corn got hit with a flash drought.
Yeah.
But we have a walk-in cooler now, so we could technically take our Danny corn once it's dried, and we could put it in our walk-in cooler and drop the temperature down, and it would last indefinitely.
Ever heard what happened to Ice Age Farmer?
I can't. He's on another platform, but I'm not going to go into what happened with Christian because it's something I think that only he should talk about.
But he is on another platform. You just have to find him.
What is my thoughts on hybrid vegetable seeds? I don't think there's anything wrong with hybrid vegetable seeds other than the fact that you can't save any seeds. They're usually more disease resistant than the heirloom ones are. As a matter of fact, I grow a pretty good bit of hybrid seeds simply because we have so many diseases that attack stuff here, and I've found specific ones that don't get attacked, and I just bought up a ton of hybrid seeds.
Is it too late to put fertilizer sticks to blueberries?
No. You want to fertilize your blueberries when they're putting on blooms and leaves and berries and stuff like that. You don't want to fertilize them after you've picked all the berries off of them.
Okay.
Could you use a dandelion as a companion plant with other crops since it's a nitrogen fixer? Dandelions are usually a sign in the soil when you have them that you have a low lime content. Your soil is acidic and it's very compacted. That's usually your first signs that your soil's in trouble, is when you start seeing dandelions. I wouldn't just put them in my garden just to have them.
Twisted ponies.
I can relate to your fencing fatigue, Mr. Danny. I am 1,700 feet into my cattle fence. More to come next week. I am up to 5 Dexter bulls now. 2 new lambs, blessings from the river swamp. I totally know what you're talking about, Twisted Ponies. I've got probably a mile of fence to run, and it is, I'm still clearing to put the fence.
Yeah, he had to stop on that to do some other projects. I have some black matter on my fruit tree leaves. The leaves are covered with this substance.
You probably have an aphid issue. When you have this black matter on them, it's usually a sugar substitute that looks kind of like mold.
When you
rub your fingers on it and they get black all over your fingers, that usually comes from either white flies or aphids.
Should you fertilize young fruit trees in the spring?
I don't fertilize any of my fruit trees until the second year I've planted them, because I let my trees do what I call go grocery shopping for their... Now I put a little time release, don't get me wrong, I put a little time release around them when I first plant them, but I don't do anything to them after that other than just water them. I like for my roots on my fruit trees to go looking for their nutrition, because if you fertilize them right off the bat, the roots don't have to go anywhere to look for any nutrition, so they don't really get a good root establishment that first year.
Okay. How bad is the rain for garden these days?
Rain has not been bad for us this year at all so far. Now, it might get worse, but it hasn't so far. Unless you live in California. And I've told people in California, you're in for trouble.
Oh,
California, East Texas, I've told y'all in East Texas. I've told you southern parts of Missouri. I've told you Kentucky, Virginia. I mean, northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, south the western Appalachian Mountains. I mean, there's New York, Maine. I'm telling you,
is corn considered GMO?
is corn considered GMO? No. Now, there is a lot of GMO corn out there, but not all corn is GMO. All commercial corn is GMO, more than likely. But you can buy corn products that are not GMO, but you have to make sure that you specify when you're looking for it. Now, the normal person cannot go buy genetically modified seeds because usually it's a big ordeal, and they are
Farmer usually.
Yeah, they are so expensive too.
All right, Shane, why don't you eat mushrooms? Because I don't like them.
Because we just don't like them. We don't.
I mean, why
it's
don't
like
you eat things?
we don't like celery. We don't eat celery.
I don't do celery.
We don't. There's just certain things that we don't eat. I mean, and there's no sense in us growing them if we're not going to eat them.
I'm not going to eat it. I'm not doing it. Are you expecting a drought this year or high heat? Should they plant in the shade?
Yes, there's going to be a drought later this year. There's going to be extreme heat coming. You're going to have a massive water event, and then you have massive heat. So always plant in a partial shade. Don't ever put your stuff out in the bald open sun anymore. When a plant says full sun, now means anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. Don't put it over 4 to 6 hours in the sun.
All right, how do you seed your carrots? I have trouble seeing that tiny seed and keeping the soil moist. Carrot book.
Carrot manual. I got a manual here that tells how to do it. I've got a little green thing about yay big around. It's got a little spout sticking out on it. I just turn it to however many seed I want to come out, and I just take my finger and bump it. But usually, I just take the carrot seeds and just lightly sprinkle them out of the pack all over the whole bed. And then when they come up and start making carrots about the size of your little pinky, I start thinning them out to eat.
Well, you put a cover over them. That she's saying how did she keep them moist?
To keep them moist, I wet them down. We got videos on it. I wet them down. I cover them with plastic, and when I see them sprouting in about 5 or 6 days, I take it off, and usually they just Cadillac after that. Rose that wants to move says, I received notification I will get Social Security disability. If that's what you were looking for and you need it, praise the Lord. Just realize that if you get Social Security disability, you can't make over X number of dollars a month or they will take it away from you.
Have you ever used Baker Creek seeds?
We tried Baker Creek seeds here in the Deep South. They did not do good for us.
We tried several when we about
it's been 4 or 5 years ago. We tried a lot of different Baker Creek seeds.
Most of them we had slim to none germination, and probably didn't produce hardly anything from any of it.
We hardly got anything out of it. Soil Sister, question. Got a high tunnel this year. Anything you wish you knew then that you know now?
That there's as many weeds and bugs in a high tunnel as there is outside.
Yeah.
It's a false thing if you think you're going to grow without weeds and unless you're going to use chemicals or some type of organic something. The white flies can get crazy real fast. We have a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
And what is it that gets on them? It's not mold. Humidity creates
powdery mildew.
Powdery mildew. Yeah. That's it. The weeds, all of it is as bad in the high tunnel as it is outside. You have to work almost twice as hard sometimes.
Yeah, you do. High tunnels ain't all they're cut up to be now. I mean, They do grow some amazing stuff, but you've got to really stay on top
You
of
got to
them.
stay on top
You got to
of it.
check it every day.
Yeah, we had somebody say, well, can we just go out there once every 3 or 4 days? I said,
Oh no.
no. I mean, I had a rat in mine one time. He can devour a whole lot if you skip 3 or 4 days. Birds get in there sometimes. You get lizards can eat a lot of stuff. You just gotta be vigilant.
People keep asking me, what about the state of Michigan? The state of Michigan, you're at the 45th parallel up there. You're just going to have problems. I'm just going to tell you. You're going to have problems growing. It's not going to get better for y'all for the next probably 15 years. Your climate is going to progressively get harder and harder to grow stuff. So just understand
your time
that.
is limited.
Yeah, your growing time is going to be very
Each
limited.
year you're going to have to get it in the ground, get it up, and get it done.
How far apart did you plant your grapes in your greenhouse? About every 5 tubs, so that's probably about...
Every 5 tubs. People's tubs may be different sizes.
I'm talking about mineral tubs. Probably about every 8 to 10 feet. I got one on each end.
And one in the middle.
One in the middle. And the ones on the end are about 4 foot from the ends. So... yeah, about every 8 to 10 feet apart. As a matter of fact, I might get some trellises up for them pretty soon. They're not starting to run.
Yeah. In your opinion, what is the best seed company?
That's hard to say because we don't really buy from seed companies that much.
We buy only things that we don't already save our seeds. If it's something specialty,
it's a specialty seed.
Last year he wanted the yellow wax pole beans. We had the bush beans, and we save our seeds for the bush beans, but we didn't have pole beans. So we ordered those, and we got messed up. And I have a whole supply. They kept sending me beans. I don't know if any of them will ever make anything. I think I sent Miss Slippy some to try. But we have bought specialty tomatoes from Totally Tomatoes. When did we order? The rutabagas we ordered from a certain company. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, Kate says, what about Florida? Well, Florida's not going to end up being a good situation either. You have some water events in Florida. You're going to have 2 big nuclear events that's probably going to take place in Florida. So it's one of those places that I probably wouldn't want to be. But I realize just like us here. I mean,
a lot of people wouldn't want to be here.
A lot of people wouldn't want to be where we're at. We're within an hour of one of the largest facilities in the world that's a high nuclear risk here for us. Not a plant, but a target.
A target.
And, you know, everybody goes, yeah, but you're also, where all these hurricanes and all this stuff is, and, you know.
We're 30 miles from the coast.
Yeah, I mean.
We've got a lot of oopses. We're on a fault line.
Well, we're not actually on the fault line.
Not
the fault
far
line,
from it.
the fault line's about 100 miles from us or
Yeah.
so. But, I mean, you have to choose and pick where you want to live. It's not, look, this is something, God didn't make us to live forever.
Nope.
You know, and for somebody who wants to live forever, you've missed the boat. Because really, you're here to witness to people. You're here to draw people to Christ. You're not here to live long lives. You're here for one purpose, and that is to witness to other people. And however long you live, that's just however long you live. I mean,
and where you choose to live is according to family and friends. I mean, do you want to just, if you, like we live here because we like this area. We don't have a whole lot of family and friends in the area.
No, we don't have many friends at all.
We do.
I mean, my mom told me, she said, son, you got no life and you got no friends, and I'm not your mom.
He is making all this up, y'all. Just, no. But, I mean, we have friends, but not like right here. And our family, both our families are not right here where we're at.
Right.
And so we chose to live somewhere that our family isn't even at. But some people live right in the middle of their family and they don't want to get up and move.
Right.
And if you don't, then that's fine. That's where God puts you, and that's where you plan on staying. Then you make the best of it.
Yeah.
If you're right next to the coast and there's a hurricane coming in, you either go inland or you ride it out. Take your chances.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, there's really no safe place.
No.
If
Every place
people
has
always
something.
want to know, where's the safe place? Where's the safe place? There is no safe place. I could sit here and people go, well, I mean, this is the horrible part. People call me or send me messages all the time, about, I'm thinking about moving to this place, or I'm thinking about moving to that place because I don't think there's anything going on there. And I can tell them something, snap of your finger. I can say, well, you got this going on there. And you're right you're downwind of this nuclear plant, or you've got this going on, or you got that going on. They go, wow, I didn't know about that. I'm like, just nowhere is safe. We're not intended to be here forever. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So, but the only safe place to be is to have a relationship with.
It's just live the best life you can live and have a good relationship with the Lord. I mean come to know Him.
I mean,
that's all there is.
And talk to people about God. And don't be overly pushy.
No, don't push your religion on anybody. Just
religion is something that every person has to do it.
Live out your testimony so that people can see it through your life.
Yes.
Sometimes the only Bible anybody will see is your own personal life. And that's the way we try to live ours. Somebody's asking there, Kathy wants to know, do you use clay-covered seeds? I do occasionally on carrots or...
I used something I planted.
There was some little seeds you used. I don't remember what it was. Rutabagas? Not rutabagas.
The zucchini,
radishes.
Was it? Maybe the radishes and something I planted over at Pecan Grove. Only one of those had been. It was. I used a lot of seeds, old seed that we had from different companies, just to see because they need to be used. Companies send us seed all the time.
Yeah.
And something was coated, and I don't remember what it was.
Yes, Nancy, 40% black shade cloth for the high tunnels. That is the best that we have found in the Deep South. Now, I don't know if you live somewhere else. That it may be different somewhere else. PTL said, Danny, I'd like to know your thoughts regarding cremation. I don't know. If you want to be cremated, I guess that's your prerogative. I don't think there's anything scripturally that says you can't be cremated. I mean, my brother was cremated. I know lots of people who have been cremated. It all depends on. But to be honest with you, you don't have a choice. I'm just going to be honest. When you pass away,
you can say you want it, and if your family don't do it, then they don't. Or you can say I don't want it, and they do it.
And they do it. I mean,
you don't have a choice. And
my brother
preparations for heaven.
When my brother passed away, his kids just made an executive decision they're gonna cremate him. I mean, so he had no choice in it because he's passed away.
That's just part of it.
Will Oklahoma have an event? Oklahoma has an event all the time.
Oklahoma is an event.
I was fixing to say y'all have
weather all the time.
Y'all get the worst weather of the worst. I mean, you're probably fixing to get another blizzard through there here in the next week or so. I mean, it's going to be bad.
Like Oklahoma just for some reason attracts tornadoes. Seems like.
Well, Tornado Alley has moved from where it used to be.
Oh, did it? I know. I had a friend that lived there, and it was like tornadoes every week.
Well, that used to be in southern Kansas up through there. Now it's done moved down through Oklahoma and all, and Texas. And searching for the truth is right. We're in the beginning stages of the end times. It's the end of an age. Now, let me say it's the end of an age. It's not the end of the world. Just follow the signs. They're right. Just follow the signs. Ashes to ashes,
all right,
dust
this
to
has been
dust.
Asked before. How important is soil temperature before planting seeds, and is it important?
Yes, soil temperature is very important on planting seeds. Now, like okra, for instance, if that soil temperature in the ground is not 70 degrees, the okra is just not going to come up. It's just not going to do it. I don't care how long it lays there. It will not come up. Sweet potatoes, if that soil's not 70 degrees, they're not going to sprout. I mean, soil temperature is very important. That's why they make heat mats to go under your little raised bed things and all that, so you can warm it up to a certain temperature.
What do you feed your onions to make them big?
Nitrogen. I give them nitrogen once a week. I've got videos showing me taking calcium nitrate and taking a pencil or a screwdriver and waddling a hole right beside it and just taking my fingers and dumping a little bit down in that hole, covering it up. I've used Miracle Grow, which, guys, don't jump out your pants because Miracle Grow is nothing but liquid nitrogen. And yes, it's owned by Monsanto. I know that.
So is a lot of.
So is 99% of the garbage you eat from the grocery store.
So is a lot of the seed companies.
And we fuss about stuff like that, yet we'll go pop a pill in our mouth because we got a medical issue and it comes from China and you know they hate you. So, I mean, and it's a synthetic product in an organic body. So, I mean, we overthink things. We strain at a gnat and we swallow a fly 99% of our life.
All right, my sweet potato slips are popping out already and planted some already in 9A. That's just
9A, you probably can plant yours in 9A.
Yeah.
Now, you've got some cool weather coming in probably a week, but I don't think it's going to get cold enough to hurt them.
All right. It is, gosh, what time is it?
8:04.
Yeah, it's, I thought it was. I'm used to it being 9, and I'm looking at it going, wait.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got to have you guys put your prayer request up. Do you have a tip?
Oh,
I asked for a tip.
oh my
Did
gosh.
you not think of that?
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't hear you did. What's
Well,
in your hat under there? A tractor. Okay, it's a farm.
Leave my hat alone.
When you dumped your head up, I just seen there's a tractor under here. I did not even notice that.
Yeah, there's a tractor under my hat. See the hat? There's a tractor under my hat. It actually messes with your vision occasionally. You'll be sitting there and you're like, you want to grab something because you think there's something on your hat right there. You know what I mean?
That would drive me crazy.
Searching for the truth. Remove yourself from the system as much as possible. I agree. Guys, I used to be totally out of the system. But guess what? YouTube put me back in the system. And now I'm back, and I can't get out of it now. I mean, I'm a goner now.
It's all my fault.
No, it ain't all your fault.
It's your fault.
It's my fault because I was the one who didn't have any money and had to start doing something to pay for a cotton picking internet bill.
And now that we got
and look what it's grown into. Well, to be honest with you, it become a ministry.
And we have fun.
We have fun. Yeah, we don't. That is true. We have fun.
We do like what we do, and we have backed out some. We're not doing as much as we did in the past. Up until this year, we usually put out at least 5 videos a day. I mean, a week. I'm sorry.
A week. Oh, yeah.
But sometimes I would do 3 a day because I would do Deep South. I would do Crazy Days.
Oh, yeah.
Danny was doing All God's Children.
And Patreon.
And Patreon.
Yeah.
So
sometimes we were.
I was doing a lot, and it was killing me. So I am learning to enjoy Pecan Grove. Go over there, whether I work or I just sit. I'm learning how to just have fun and not have to work all the time. So the videos are getting slimmer. Let's put it that way.
Are we still going to start at 7 p.m. starting next week? Oh, we'll be an hour. Oh, we fall back an hour. We lose an hour. It'll be daylight 7 o'clock next week.
Yeah, we might be 8 o'clock.
We might be 8 o'clock. We may have to think about that. Yeah.
Y'all just look for us.
Just
7 or 8. It's according to what's going on. We would like to keep 7 if it's working out, but we might have to go back to 8 if we got stuff we got to do late in the evening.
It depends. Depends how tired I am. I'll be honest with you. How much heat I have to go through. It just depends. Can I spread my alfalfa on onions? A lot of alfalfa today is GMO, so you need to check, make sure your alfalfa is not GMO.
Lisa said to continue prayers for BJ, please. We will.
We will. We always pray for BJ. We love BJ. BJ came to our house, visited him and Lisa came. We went to the coast with them. As a matter of fact, they got me on the beach for the first time in probably 35, 40 years. You know, I mean,
that was a big deal.
That was a big deal. You know,
we stayed all of 15, 20 minutes and left.
Yeah, but they got me to the beach, or if you want to call that a beach, it's a man-made beach. It's a polluted place, but yeah, we love BJ, y'all. We think about BJ all the time.
Vicky says her granddaughter loves watching animal videos. I hope to get back to doing some more. In fact, right before we started tonight, I left over at the Grove and came home. And when I got here, I jumped on my Ranger and was headed to dump out my scraps.
Yep.
And
Candy.
I ran into Candy.
Yep.
And Candy was right by the gate, and I opened the gate, and she looked at me and took off running around the other way and went to some green grass out behind the smokehouse. So I ran up to the road and shut the gate. Even though I knew he was fixing to come in, I shut the gate. So I run around the house, and I pulled some carrots and a rutabaga out of Danny's greenhouse, because I know I could feed Candy and she'll come back in. And so Danny was coming in, and he was unlocking the gate and pulling his truck in. So I run and said, hey, look, you got to help me get Candy in. She's out. So he just leaves his truck sitting, and we head over there. He gets her halfway through a gate, and she turns around and goes the other way.
Well, Dexter come running up there to see what was going on, and it scared her. She wouldn't go through the gate. And I'm like,
I got her around to the other gate, and I reached and grabbed that rutabaga, and I held the greens up like this, and I says, do you want these? And she goes, moo. And I said, yeah, you want these? And she took off running. I opened the gate and threw the greens in, and she went right on in.
Yeah.
She wanted her feed.
She loves to be fed now.
She loves green stuff. So
Searching for Truth says, prayers for the end to wars. I would love to pray that, but I know we're in the end times or end of an age. It ain't going to happen, because in Matthew chapter 24 it says we're going to have wars, rumors of wars. I mean, kingdom against kingdom. It's just not. It's
somebody
not going
wants
to change.
Know what to fertilize blueberry bushes with.
I use ammonium sulfate. That's what I use on my blueberry bushes. Now, right now, this year, we're not fertilizing with anything, because I've got red clover around them right now, about 8 to 10 inches deep, and it's dumping the nitrogen to them.
Yeah. Oh. Let's see. All right, so
when on Patreon, do you pay for each person on that you want to listen to?
Yes, that is
you pay for each channel you want to listen to.
Or person, according to what it is.
Yeah, you just like ours is $3 a month, which is a bottle of water. I mean, it's not that expensive.
But if you wanted to listen to 10 people, you have to pay each person. It is a paid platform.
It's a paid platform, yes. A lot of people don't understand. We were going to do a video on this, but a lot of people don't understand why we don't put Pecan Grove over here on Deep South. It's because it's not Deep South. It's Pecan Grove. It's a totally different place. It has nothing to do with Deep South.
And even though our Patreon is Deep South, that's more our personal, what goes on in our personal life.
Yeah.
And if I think of something that I want to do that just doesn't go on Deep South on YouTube. And so we will be showing some things on Deep South, like the Danny corn. I will make that video and put it up, because that is the only place we're putting the corn. I'll show the garden occasionally over there, because I just want y'all to see how rich the soil is and how good it's doing and all this. So we hope to show a few things, but we're going to be showing Patreon, and we don't show everything on Patreon. We just show clips of what we're doing.
Lady Hammer says, do you believe in the rapture? Well, the word rapture is really not in the Bible. The Greek word harpazo is in the Bible. I believe in the second coming. I believe in the calling out. I believe it will probably happen in the middle of the week. I used to be a pre-trib rapture person, and I'm not going to argue with anybody that is, because I'm going to prepare like it's mid-tribulation or end of the tribulation, and I'm going to pray that the people who believe in pre-trib are right, because I got friends that's that way, and I told them, I said, look, we'll all prepare like I'm right, but if you're right, we're going to high-five in the sky when we go by. That's the way we look at it. We don't argue over anything, because, different people's got different ways of looking at it.
Yeah. All right, let's have our prayer, and then...
one more rock says, don't y'all want to start a new channel, Pecan Grove? No. No. Deep South is enough.
Yeah, we're trying to cut back. I have Crazy Days, and Crazy Days just hit 25,000 this week, and I've been waiting on it to hit 25,000. It's been at 24,900 for months, and y'all ain't even done a video over there. I've got to get over there. I just don't have time right now. I guess I could make time, but
Well,
I'm just kind of enjoying not having to make videos so much. So I'll get around to it.
Graham says, do you have to root your sweet potato slips before planting them? Well, when you pull them out of the pot,
You
they
have
are.
to have the slips.
The slips, when you pull the slips up out of the dirt, they have roots on them. I mean, if you pull them up and they don't have roots on them, you pull them up too early. You can put them over in water at that time and they'll grow some roots, but it'll take a long time to do it. I would just leave mine and kind of dig around them a little bit. And if I started feeling roots on them, then I'd know it's time to pull them up. Now you can cut the vines on pieces, and you can stick them over in some water, and they will root. Or you can put them in some wet soil, and they'll root faster. It just depends on how you want to do it.
All right, Cynthia says she was checking on Freesteading, but it was down. It was up a few minutes ago.
They have an updated app right now. I got
Yeah.
their shirt on. It's an updated app. Freesteading.
They just updated some things on the app that should help, because when you were typing, it's like it would pause and then it would catch up, and you would type something and it wouldn't show up and it'd pause and catch up. I think they've got that fixed. I tried typing today and it worked just like it was supposed to. And I think there was another glitch like with messages or something, and they were trying to get all that fixed. They're still working on it. And when things arise, if you let an admin know, then they try to get it fixed.
Oh, Sandra says she almost missed us. She did not get notified. YouTube has us shadow banned. So you might want to check your subscription, because lots of times they unsubscribe you from us when they shadow ban us, because we tell the truth and they don't like us telling the truth. So why don't we send a message to YouTube? Everybody check your subscription. If you're still subscribed, then great. If you're not, resubscribe and send a message back to YouTube and say, hey, we're not going to go for this. I mean, that's the way we look at it.
Dusty, Crazy Days, DAZES. That is my channel. I've had it for about 4 years now, and it's slowly growing. It doesn't, I just go over and cook or do whatever I want to do over there. So check me out. Let's see, it's DAZES, Crazy Days, DAZES. All right, so.
Let's see here.
Are you ready to pray?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. She's going to.
Yeah, they're going to see your bad hair day.
My bad hair day? Well, I just came in from work. I mean, it is what it is. I barely made it in here. Oh, anyway. Father, we are so thankful you've been. Oh, we've had a good day, Lord. It's been a beautiful, nice, comfortable day to work. And, Lord, we got a lot accomplished today, and we want to praise you for that. And Father, I just want to thank you for giving us a good chat tonight, Lord, and a good live stream. People, tonight's been outstanding. Just great people to be around, and great people to have in the chat tonight, Lord. We always ask that you bless us so that we can reach out and be a blessing to those around us. And sometimes it's a double-edged sword. We come back and we start having all these problems, and we can't figure out what's going on. And then when we finally figure them out, people start popping up wanting to know about this and that, and it's just the same exact problems we've just been through ourselves. And we know that you've placed us through those problems so that we can be a blessing to the others around us. So, Lord, there's, oh man, there was a lot of people had a lot of requests tonight, Father. Lots of surgeries, cancers. I saw the cancer video, the requests coming through, and Father, it always breaks my heart when I hear of people going through chemotherapy. We're not dying from cancer because we have a lack of chemotherapy in our body. We're dying from cancer because we eat the wrong things, and we have an evil world that's pumping us full of evil things that's making us have this stuff. And they just want us to perish. And Lord, you said that you came that we might have life and that we might have it more abundantly. And I pray for those that's going through this right now, Father. My heart goes out to them because I spent 6 years dealing with that and 10,000 hours worth of research into it, Father. And I'm just praying for the people who are battling cancer right now that they can get victory over this, Lord. It can be beat. I know it can. But the thing about it is it's all about the money. You know, they put it in remission in our bodies, and it pops back up later, and that's just wrong. We need healing from you. So we're going to speak healing tonight on everybody's body who has cancer tonight, Father. We're going to speak healing on their bodies. And for those that are going through financial troubles and financial woes and things like that, Lord, we're going to pray that they are financially blessed tonight. And I know that there's going to be those people that's not financially blessed because they couldn't handle it if you gave it to them. So we're going to pray that you give them what they need to be sustainable tonight. That's what we pray, Father. And I pray, Lord, that as we get ready to go through these end time prophecies and troubles, we have to look back and say, you know what? There's no sense in being scared of anything because, Father, it is you who releases the horsemen. It is you who opens that book that nobody else could open in Revelation there, Father. It is you who does these things. It is you who allows his curses upon a nation like America. But it is also you who binds up your people in the palm of your hand and saves them from the plagues of the world, just like you did the children of Israel during the plagues of Egypt. Nothing came upon them, Lord, because you guarded and protected them. And you're going to do the same for your own here in America. And Father, we know tonight the only reason America hasn't been struck by other countries is because there are your people still praying in this country. And Father, just like you said, judgment, where does it begin? It begins at the house of God. And Lord, I pray that God's people will get their lives right so that we can get back on track. So Lord, go with us tonight. Guide, direct us, forgive us where we failed you. Give us victory over everything in our life that we need victory over, Father. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Holy moly, man. Let's see here.
I do remember Grower Solution, the greenhouse high tunnels that we have, sent me a message before we got on. They are running a sale just to see. They don't usually do anything except Black Friday sales, but this sale is a little bit different. They're offering free shipping for anything over, I think it's $3,500 if you spend on a high tunnel, and the code is free shipping. If you do that, no other codes work. Only free shipping will work, which means our code, you mentioned Deep South, and either on the phone or in the thing that it's for Deep South, go through our link, but it doesn't give you the 10% off. You can only do free shipping or 10% off if you're over $3,500. So that's one thing that they've got going on this week. So I thought I would mention that while I'm thinking about it.
What kind of fertilizers do we use on our strawberries? We fertilize our strawberries only once, and that's when we plant them and put them in the bed. We fertilize them with triple 13 fertilizer in the ground. We plant them, and really, to be honest with you, we do not fertilize them again.
There's BJ. He's in here. I hope you're feeling okay, BJ. We are thinking about you, and I messaged Lisa last week and was going to message her today, and Danny had me kind of busy. So it's Danny's fault.
That's always my fault. I'm a very responsible person. When things go wrong, I'm responsible for it.
Okay. Tip?
I don't know.
I know somebody sent a message, and I don't know if I can find it right quick to read, but they asked us to let me see if I can find it right quick.
Yeah, the pomelo is doing really, really well. Some of the blooms did fall off of it and didn't make, but I think there's still a few of them on there that looks pretty good.
Okay, it was Walter. He said,
Walter, we had a subscriber, Walter, who sent this to us and asked us, would we please get this out to all of our people?
And I'm sure this has to do with banking and other things that are going on. It's like a whole conglomerate of things happening all at once.
But now wait, this is something I've been trying to tell you guys now for about 2 or 3 years.
Several years.
But Walter just sent this to us, and he wanted us to share it with you. So tonight, instead of a tip, we're going to share what Walter sent.
For the next 3 to 6 months, there is going to be very challenging. Number one, get out of debt as much as possible. And Danny's been telling you that for years.
Yep.
Stay close to home and cancel vacation plans and put those funds aside or put them in hard assets.
Or put the money aside in a safe location, or put it into some kind of hard asset like a tangible item or something other like that.
That you can use. Don't just go buy stuff you don't use.
Buy something at random, something that you're going to use.
Then plant a victory garden. Plant some type of food.
Grow your own food.
And as always, prepare your family's long-term needs. Shelter, water, food, energy, meds, anything your family needs on a day-to-day basis. Go ahead and store it up, which is just prepping in general. But we tried to tell people that when we knew that the C-19 was fixing to get everybody shut down and at home.
Yeah.
I messaged all my kids and I said, look, get everything you need for at least 2 to 3 weeks in case you can't get out. I said, I'd prefer you have a month or more, but at least have 2 to 3 weeks. I would say the same thing now. It may nothing happen right like tomorrow, but keep sticking things up.
Guys, look. America is under attack. Not by outside groups. America is under attack from homegrown problems. And that's the worst kind. You can deal with the enemy as long as they're from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. The problem with dealing with the enemy when it is homegrown is it can be anybody. And there's no way you can know who it is. So the biggest issue like Walter was saying there, he's saying cancel your vacation plans. Stay close to home. Guys, between now and July is going to be very touchy. Do y'all realize Russia sent 6 hypersonic missiles into the Ukraine this past week? 2 of those missiles, we don't know where they came from. They're suspecting that they came from possibly Iran, Syria, Jordan, somewhere over in that area. Because once they're launched, they can get there almost simultaneously. And the thing about it is, in the United States, we have no way to stop one of those missiles. We're working on a laser system right now, supposedly that we can take those down with. Our Patriot system won't take it down. The Iron Dome won't work. I mean, we have all these defense systems set up that will not work. We ourselves don't even have hypersonic missiles yet. We rolled one out on a launch pad the other day for 5 hours, and they pulled it back in. I mean, what kind of message is that to the world? I mean, Vladimir is sitting over here launching those things off, and he's hitting his targets. So, and our top generals in the United States are sitting back looking at China. China's already got Gen 6 planes working on Gen 7. We can't even stay up with Gen 6 because we can't stop arguing with each other over here enough in our Senate and House, and all we want to do is bicker and fight between one another, and rather than, hey, we got problems outside our borders, now we got problems inside our borders.
And it's really tough, like Danny was saying. You may have been around your fellow workers for 5 years or more.
Yeah.
And you know every one of them, and you've been in and out, but something could trigger them because you don't know what they watch on the internet. You don't know what somebody said to them or somebody that's come into their lives. This
Right.
is how some people get caught up in things, and it triggers things, and things happen. And y'all, it could be anybody. It doesn't have to be a specific race of people. It doesn't have to be a specific anything.
No.
They could be anybody that you know now, because it's just getting out of hand. The world is out of hand.
Everything is gone wacko, guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Your people was asking me questions a while ago and going through the chat. I just didn't have time to get to them about East Texas and stuff like that. Guys, right now the Pacific Ocean is on fire. I mean, does that sound crazy? The Pacific Ocean
Underneath it
is on fire. There's like 6 to 9 spots underneath the Pacific Ocean that's just boiling lava out like crazy. The Pacific Ocean waters are heating up. It's going totally changing our jet streams. Why do you think that California right now is being inundated with all this massive weather out there? It's because the temperatures of the ocean is changing. The jet streams are changing. The weather patterns are changing. We're getting all this violent weather out there, and everybody goes, well, this is man-made. No, this ain't man-made.
Some of it could be.
I mean, there's some manipulation that goes on.
Manipulation, yeah.
But 90% of what we're seeing is the earth going through birthing pains. Mm-hmm. Literally, we're told in the scriptures that the earth is going to go through birthing pains. When you see stuff happening in the solar system, like's happening out there, this binary planetary system coming into our galaxy and our solar system, is pulling at the sun, is pulling at the earth. I mean, I'm an electrician, and if you take 2 magnets and you got a motor running, you can make that motor turn in any direction. You can do anything you want with magnetic pull. And literally, we're going to have a water event because the Earth's rotation is slowing down. You use centrifugal force and you spin something fast enough, it's not round anymore. It becomes egg-shaped. The water at the equator is way higher than it is anywhere else, and if you start slowing the rotation of the Earth down, that water's got to go somewhere. It's coming inland. Plus, we have a massive landmass out in the Atlantic Ocean that's trying to raise up to the top of the water out there. That's going to displace water. We've got a high sitting over Greenland right now that's changing our polar vortex. I mean, there's tons of weather anomalies going on. And guys, it ain't all man-made. The solar system is causing a lot of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And 2, God himself is trying to get our attention. He's looking at us going, what else have I got to do to get your attention, people? I mean, you can't blame it all on man.
No. And you got to take responsibility for yourself. That's something that most people do not do nowadays. They want to put blame on somebody else. It's got to start here first. If you can't get yourself right and quit blaming other people for what you're doing wrong,
right,
then what hope is there?
Yeah, just prepare your, if I have a tip for tonight, prepare your eternal life.
Exactly.
I mean, literally make preparations for your eternal destiny. Because you know what? We're only here for 70 to 90 years, if we're lucky. I lost my other wife at 50. So a lot of people die earlier than that. My brother died in his 40s. I mean, you never know when your life is going to be taken from you. And what is that compared to eternity? It's nothing compared to eternity. I mean, that's what I tell people all the time. Please, literally, try to make your eternal preparations. Make it happen, guys. Because there's one thing in this life that's not certain, and that's that tomorrow the sun may not rise for you. It may not rise for me. It may not rise for Wanda. Mm-hmm. We don't know when our time is up.
No, and that's why we've been backing up some. We're learning to live a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still do YouTube. We still do our thing, but we also are enjoying what we do. Danny loves to build. He loves to see new
Yeah.
things. Pecan Grove, he has an insight in
I have
his
a
head.
vision.
He has
Yeah.
a vision that he wants to make happen. And it's for us personally. It's not necessarily for YouTube. That's why we don't have everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because it's a personal, Pecan Grove's personal for us. And it won't be shown in its entirety, ever, I don't think.
Right.
And we just have a vision
Yeah.
of something we want to do other than we've shown you Deep South. We have taken y'all on step by step by step by step all
Yeah.
through. And when you ask questions of us, hey, can you make a video on, just Google it and Google planting carrots, Deep South Homestead, or building a smokehouse, Deep South Homestead, or changing a lawnmower tire, Deep South Homestead. Danny's done some of all of it. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
We've got, gosh, I don't even know, 3,000, 4,000 videos.
Oh, I don't even know.
It's crazy. So, yeah, we shouldn't have to make videos again. They're there. Just Google it. Sometimes
Yeah.
people just want a quick fix, but yeah, look for them. Helps us out a little bit.
Prepare, guys. Prepare. This year, like I told you last year that 2023 would be the year of fire. And look around you. How many things have burnt? East Texas is on fire, and they don't even know it. Underground, East Texas is burning like crazy. And it's only going to get worse. You know, and how do you tell somebody this stuff? I mean, we all, I was trying to tell you, there is no safe place.
You're not going to get out of the world alive.
Everybody goes, well, what about Virginia? Virginia is a hot nuclear spot to get hit by a nuclear bomb. Washington, D.C. is a hot spot to get hit by a nuclear bomb. New York is a hot spot to, when I say New York, I'm like New York City is a hot spot to get hit by a nuclear bomb. What is it? Maine. Maine is another hot spot to get hit by a nuclear bomb. I mean, we live within an hour of a hot spot to get hit by a nuke. I mean, there is
no safe place.
I mean, then when you think, well, it's happening there, but you got to think about the prevailing wind direction. Where's the fallout from that going? It ain't necessarily where it hits at; it's the fallout from it.
Yeah. So you and the water. If anything gets in the water, are you downstream from where something might hit?
Right.
Your state may be really good and it has nothing there.
Right.
But what's above you and what's coming down, or if the winds come from the west headed east and something happens on the west coast and it comes across, you're in that, you know.
And people go, well, I live in the Missouri Ozarks. Well, the Missouri Ozarks, we have lots of nuclear facilities underground in the Missouri Ozarks. Under Springfield, Missouri is a huge complex underground. 18-wheelers can drive for 15 to 20 minutes or longer underground under Springfield. I mean, and Kansas City, all this kind of stuff. It's underground facilities everywhere. I mean, guys, this stuff, there is no safe place. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just make sure your soul is right with God. That's the best thing I can tell you tonight. I mean, literally. What'd you take my chat away for?
I'm getting ready to shut us down.
Okay. Ms. Wanda's telling me
he's got to he's getting on a rampage.
I'm getting on a rampage. She's gonna make me stop. So
well, it's been an hour and a half.
I don't care.
Oh.
I don't care.
But guys, wherever you're at, be safe.
Yeah.
That's all we can say. Do your best.
Look, guys, prepare.
Enjoy life.
Just enjoy life. Do not be scared, because fear is not of God. He has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, peace, sound mind, all this kind of stuff. God's given us those things, not fear.
Yes.
Exactly. So, guys, we love you and we appreciate you. If we didn't, we wouldn't tell you this stuff. You know, I mean, we just say, oh, the heck with them, let them go, you know, and not worry about it. But we love y'all, and we want you to have the best. So, thank you guys for sitting here and listening to two cranky old people.
You're cranky. I'm not cranky. I'm good.
Oh, y'all have a blessed evening. We'll catch y'all in the next video. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.